Russia, China foster ties based on their interests, not political opportunism, claims Putin. Russian leader Vladimir Putin arrives in China for Belt and Road Forum. Today, all drones come from China. Russia's finance minister publicly acknowledges where they get UAVs from.
U.S. international player Reggie Cannon joins to English club Queen's Park Rangers. Atletico PR agrees to release Vitor Roque to Barcelona ahead of schedule. Tech millionaire from Connecticut launches effort to bring MLS and WSL to Bridgeport in new soccer stadium.
In Brazil, President Lula's party, PT, classifies Israel's action in the Gaza Strip as genocide. South Africa's president, Israel is an apartheid state. In Spain, Foreign Affairs flatly rejects Israel's falsehoods after accusing elements of the government of aligning with Hamas. Malaysia's Anwar rejects West's pressuring attitude to condemn Hamas. Colombia threatens to cut ties with Israel over war on Gaza. Recently, upon president's remarks of liking IDF to Nazis, Israel decided to stop security imports to Colombia.
Bulgaria shocks Hungary, Serbia with huge transit fees on Russian gas. Russian gas arrives in Portugal, signs. Chinese fighters engaged in unsafe intercept of Canadian surveillance plane, commander says. Korean air to showcase stealth unmanned aerial vehicle at Aerospace and Defense exhibition.
Binance to stop accepting new UK users to comply with ad rules. Chinese software developer Me2 set to sell BTC and ETH holdings. Pennsylvania cuts 2 years mining moratorium from bill after union pressure. Law and Order Toronto, criminal intent sets cast. The King's Man 2 titled The Traitor King and will cover the rise of Hitler. The Daily Wire is making a live-action Snow White movie starring conservative YouTuber Brett Cooper.
Willow's Warwick Davis calls removal of Disney Plus series from streaming platform embarrassing. Kevin Spacey film Control, his first movie after sexual assault trial, has premiere cancelled by London Cinema. Laura Parker, Witch on Dark Shadows, dies at 84. Joanna Merlin dies. Seidel from the original Fiddler on the Roof, longtime judge on Law and Order, SVU, was 92.
Michael Jackson hits the top 10 again as Thriller is brought back to life. The Rolling Stones say making music is no different than it was decades ago, we just let it rock on. Pink clarifies that she doesn't fly any country's flags at her shows after receiving threats. I am human. I believe in peace.
Matthew Vaughn quit X-Men, The Last Stand after discovering plan to trick Halle Berry with a fake Storm script that would be trashed after she signed on to return. Gary Dauberman, James Wan's Atomic Monster tackling live-action gargoyles for Disney+. Oscar Isaac, Jason Momoa and Gerard Butler to lead Julian Schnabels in The Hand of Dante. Tactical VR shooter Breachers is just around the corner for PSVR 2. CI Games is well positioned for its future 2 projects thanks to Lords of the Fallen's launch. Supreme Court allows Biden administration to continue fully enforcing ghost gun regulations. DOJ appeals sentences of Proud Boys members.
Exxon relied on hacked info invite against climate probes. Tekken tournament interrupted by Just Stop Oil protesters at EGX 2023. Actively exploited Cisco zero-day exploit, with maximum 10 severity, gives full network control.
Lab-grown meat has sustainability potential, but a long way off for consumers, reports a food scientist. In Australia, Victoria prepares to launch medicinal cannabis driving trial.
Forever chemicals detected at half of Swiss groundwater sites. In Canada, nationwide fast food chain A&W launches reusable, exchangeable cup program to tackle single-use cup waste.
Benjamin Netanyahu shouldn't lead Israel in the long run after country's most severe blow, former PM says. French communists want alternative to driven by Mélenchon, left coalition. Biden campaign joins Trump's Truth Social site, because we thought it would be very funny. Oprah pitched a White House run for 2020, with Mitt Romney. Book reveals. Berlin police break up banned pro-Palestinian rally. France to identify foreigners arrested for radicalism for possible expulsion. British prisoners face serving time abroad to ease pressure on jails.
About 2,000 U.S. troops told to prepare for deployment in response to Israel-Hamas war. Federal Reserve's Janet Yellen says, America can certainly afford 2 wars, U.S. Treasury Secretary says. Iran FM warns of imminent preemptive action against Israel by Resistance Access, also said Iran could launch preemptive strike on Israel through proxies.
6,000 prisoners must be freed in exchange for hostages in Gaza, says Hamas official. Hamas releases propaganda clip of French-Israeli woman hostage seized in October 7 assault on southern Israel. Jerusalem Catholic Patriarch offers to be exchanged for Gaza hostages. Hamas says holding 200 hostages, foreign nationals will be freed when conditions allow. Canada urges citizens to leave Lebanon while flights are available. Persistent animal abuse granny, 89, becomes Ireland's oldest female prisoner. Japan Airlines put on an extra flight for a group of sumo wrestlers whose weight made the planes too heavy to fly. Citigroup banker fired for lying about two-sandwich lunch expense loses wrongful dismissal lawsuit in the UK. Fake news of BlackRock Bitcoin ETF approval, abruptly sent BTC to $30,000, spiking 10%. Tether seizes $873,000 worth crypto tied to terrorism in Israel and Ukraine. Israel alleges mysterious stablecoin whales are Islamist groups. Sugarland man, 37 years old Ziofa E. Chen, pleads guilty to identity theft in $500,000 Bitstamp cryptocurrency fraud scheme. Genesis to comply with Terraform Labs subpoena within 5 days, orders U.S. court. Sam Bankman-Fried's lawyers say he needs more Adderall to concentrate in court. Banking scams overtake crypto frauds in Ireland.
Argentina seeks help to free hostages held by Hamas in Gaza. Rishi Sunak says 6 Britons killed and 10 missing after Hamas attack on Israel. Italy pressures Hamas to free hostages. Italy said it believes 3 of its citizens being held by Hamas in Gaza.
Jordan Montgomery leads Rangers, past Astros in ALCS opener. Phillies power past E-backs, with 3 homers to take an LCS opener. Washington Capitals home sellout streak ending at 588 games, as Matthew Phillips's first goal sparks Caps to first win under Spencer Carberry. Norris and Piastri insist closing down 79-point gap to Ferrari is doable. Andretti will not be left without F1 engine supply, says FIA.
Trevor May rips Oakland Athletics owner while announcing retirement on Twitch. Chicago Bears QB Justin Fields has dislocated thumb and is doubtful to play against Raiders. Indianapolis Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson unlikely to return this season.
U.S. to ease sanctions on Venezuelan oil for freer presidential elections. Panama, Costa Rica agreed to plan to speed migrants passing through from Darien Gap. 60% in Japan think livelihoods worsen under Kishida government. A universal basic income is being considered by Canada's government. Brussels on highest terror alert and football fans told to stay in stadium after ISIS terrorist kills 2 Swedish fans in Belgium vs Sweden Euro qualifier match. The match suspended after first half. The stadium evacuated during the night.
21 species removed from endangered list due to extinction, U.S. wildlife officials say. In Mexico, Mayan train has knocked down more than 10 million trees, claims environmentalists. Behemoth tree in North Vancouver is nearly as wide as a Boeing 747 airplane cabin, discovered by biologists. Seed farmers struggle amid the climate crisis. European lawmakers accidentally reach Disneyland after their train suffers signal error. Renascer Church from Brazil abandons evangelicals in the Middle East during caravan trip in Israel. Biden will head to Israel and Jordan as concerns mount that Israel-Hamas conflict will spread, and says a Palestinian state should be established and Hamas eliminated entirely. Israel has killed 6 Hamas leaders in Gaza. It's killed more than 800 children. EU to launch humanitarian air corridor to Gaza via Egypt. Reportedly, Israel refuses Zelensky's visit, says time not right.
I am willing to go to jail, Trump lashes out at judge, claims her whole life is not liking me. Federal Judge Chutkan overseeing 2020 election subversion case, bars Trump from attacking prosecutors and court staff, in partial gag order, saying does not have the right to say and do exactly what he pleases. Substantial brain pathology in SARS-CoV-2 infected dogs has been reported, particularly involving blood-brain barrier damage, resembling small vessel disease, including changes in tight junction proteins, reduced laminin levels, and decreased parasite coverage. Furthermore, the phosphorylated tau, a marker of neurodegenerative disease, indicating a potential link between SARS-CoV-2-associated small vessel disease and neurodegeneration has been detected.
White House wants to develop and deploy advanced AI for healthcare. Google asks U.S. Congress to not ban teens from social media. Mauritius Supreme Court repeals colonial-era anti-same-sex law and decriminalizes same-sex relations.
Goldman Sachs wants out of the Apple Card business, report claims, trying to offload Apple's credit card and savings accounts. American Express registered and Formula One registered announce multi-year partnership. HSBC set to debut in land financing in India.
Stack Overflow, hurt by ChatGPT's rise, lays off 28% of staff. LinkedIn to lay off 668 employees in second cut this year, amid broader restructuring. Leaked Microsoft pay guidelines reveal salary, hiring bonus, and stock award ranges by level. Bandcamp, Oakland-based music industry darling, gutted by 50% layoff, amid sale to Songtwitter.
Antimicrobial peptides modulate lung injury by altering the intestinal microbiota. Serotonin levels are depleted in long COVID patients, study says, pointing to a potential cause for brain fog.
Maltreatment in childhood might lead to sleep problems later in life, study finds. Newly identified stem cells can lure breast cancer to the spine. Cancer cells hijack mitochondria from nearby T cells.
The meta-analysis showed that vitamin D supplementation had a significant effect on overall reduction in depression scores. Also, vitamin D supplementation significantly reduced depressive symptom scores in patients with serum levels higher than 15 mol/L. Tirzepatide substantially increased the magnitude of weight loss when administered following an initial 12-week intensive lifestyle intervention that reduced baseline body weight by an average of 6.9% in successful program completers.
Starfield's lead quest designer leaves Bethesda to join other RPG veterans, making a new open-world game. With Starfield finally out, Bethesda's head of publishing, Pete Hines, is leaving after 24 years. Next Halo campaign reportedly starts development as 343 Industries begins pivot away from Infinite. Canon claims its nano-imprint lithography machines capable of 5 nanometers chip production. Buyers complain of burn-in on iPhone 15 Pro Max display. Huawei is outselling Apple's new iPhones in China, Jeffries says. NVIDIA H800 faces potential China export ban as U.S. strengthens rules on AI chip shipments. Intel's new 14th Gen CPUs arrive on October 17 with up to 6 GHz out of the box. Microsoft repositions 7 TB Project Silica Glass Media as a cloud storage solution, which stored data in quartz glass, a low-cost, durable worm media that is EMF-proof, and offers lifetimes of tens to hundreds of thousands of years. In the USA, faced with a $688 billion shortfall, the IRS is coming after tax dodgers. IMF predicts that Brazil should become the 9th largest economy in the world in 2023. In Argentina, public companies lost $14 million per day in the first half of 2023.
Happened to me every day. Pakistan former spinner Danish Kanaria on facing religious bias in team. Indian fans chanted Jai Shri Ram at Pakistani cricketer Mohammad Rizwan after victory. Synthetic turf may be banned on football pitches in Spain. Tom Kim wins in Las Vegas for second time in same PGA Tour season. Rod Pampling earns second PGA Tour champions victory. Angel Yin wins LPGA Shanghai for first career tour title. World's first off-road solar SUV just drove across Morocco powered only by the sun. Toyota teases FT Cell electric GR sports car and F-3E crossover concepts. Gavin Newsom signs bill to legalize cruising in California, and restrictions on lowrider vehicles. Porsche remains committed to the manual transmission. 2024 Volvo M90 minivan exterior design fully revealed ahead of debut. 2024 Nissan Rogue debuts with a new grille and Google built-in. Ben Affleck's heir to receive the inaugural visionary icon and creator tribute at the Gotham Awards. Vernon Davis lands role in Please Don't Feed the Children by Destry Allen Spielberg. Hosted by Keanu Reeves, Disney Plus sets release date to November 15th for a 4-part F1 docu-series on Brawn GP, Brawn, the impossible Formula One story.
In Indonesia, the Constitutional Court, MK, decides that regional heads can become presidential and vice presidential candidates even though they have not been 40 years old. In Spain, the former director of the CNI, Paz Esteban, is charged with espionage with Pegasus on the Catalan president Pere Aragonès. ACE's Webb telescope detects tiny quartz crystals, the silica particles, in clouds of hot gas giant exoplanet was -17b. Venture capitalist Mark Andreessen just dropped a techno-optimist manifesto that sees a world of 50 billion people settling other planets. Blue Origin unveils Blue Ring, a multi-use space platform to aid missions to Earth orbit and beyond.
Analog is making a 4K Nintendo 64. AMD pulls graphics driver after anti-lag plus triggers Counter-Strike 2 bans. Apple planning system for retail stores to update iPhone software with no need to open box.
In the UK, Rolls-Royce to cut up to 2,500 jobs across its business. BlackBerry to open cybersecurity center in Malaysia. Qualcomm to cut more than 1,000 jobs as US launch decoupling backfires. Ford lays off 700 who are building electric version of F-150.
Ofcom's online safety director suspended over allegedly liking anti-Israel Instagram post. In the UK, Steve Bell sacked by The Guardian and anti-Semitism row over Netanyahu cartoon. BBC apologizes for old video of pro-Palestine supporters shouting anti-Semitic remarks as being misleadingly shared.